Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra Kane. I hope you're having a great day. As you can see, I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat, Saadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, to my wonderful moderators, thank you for all that you do in holding down the comment section. It is much appreciated. Today we're going to be talking about Democrats want Black Americans to freak out about the Supreme Court of the United States justices voting rights decision, right? The voting rights decision that they made not too long ago. The internet, your mama, Obama, everybody has been a buzz about this decision actually coming out of Louisiana versus Calais, to be exact. I'm going to get into all of that and what that means. I spoke about it just a tiny bit the other day on my channel, really out of frustration because it's just a lot going on. But yeah, we're going to have that discussion in just a few. Donovan, what say you?
Welcome. It is cold here, kind of threatening to rain, but we need it. But welcome to the Demetra K Show, guys. Thank you. We know you guys could be 101 places, but you guys chose to be here. I got a lot to say about this, but I'm going to go through the preliminaries first. You guys see a scrolling banner at the bottom there. If you guys want to continue to have these great conversations, the ways you guys can donate and help contribute is Venmo, PayPal, money order, whatever you guys want to do, Cash App, so on and so forth. Also, please don't forget African Diaspora News Channel app, Afro AI, the Emancipation Channel, a bunch of contributors there. They are talking about this as well. So if you want different perspectives of this conversation, you can get that at the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. There's a lot to unpack here. Don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you guys have comments you want read and us to talk about. So let's get into it, Demetra.
Also, before I forget, please join me in less than 20 days, along with Brother Phil, Sister Emma, and Sister Vicky at the Ohio Black Expo in Columbus, Ohio, to be exact, where we are going to be having a great conversation with you. We're going to be taking questions, and we're going to be answering, and, just vice versa, having a good vibe session with you all. But in order to do that, you have to go to ohioblackexpo.com, ohioblackexpo.com. Also, there's going to be concerts, there's going to be food, you name it, right? Other think tanks, if you will. Loose Ends is going to be there. October London, Moni Love, Dead Prez. It's just like a whole bunch of people, right? And I'm going to be there actually the whole time. Last time I left early, but I'm going to spend the whole weekend along with my sister and my daughter. So hopefully I'll see some of y'all out there, the whole weekend. But please come on and join us, ohioblackexpo.com. Please and thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. And I acknowledge everybody in just a second. So not too long ago, there was a decision made by the Supreme Court, and a lot of people on, let's say, the left, right, the Democrats and the Shields were unhappy. So basically, it was a case versus Louisiana versus Calais. So Louisiana created a new congressional map with 2 majority Black districts after lawsuits argued that Black voters were underrepresented. Okay. Opponents, including Philip Calais, argued that map was too focused on race, making it unconstitutional. Now, the court ruled 6-3, conservative majority, that Louisiana's map was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander, okay? The state cannot rely on race to draw districts unless there is a very strong justification. Now, the court changed how Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act worked. Before, you could win a case by showing results. For example, Black voters had less political power or fewer districts. After the ruling, you must prove intentional discrimination, meaning the state purposely tried to harm minority voters. Now, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act was the main tool used to challenge racial vote dilution, like unfair district maps. The court did not completely strike down the Voting Rights Act, but it greatly weakened how it could be enforced. Now, supporters, including some conservative legal scholars and politicians, argue The ruling reinforces the Constitution's idea that government should be race neutral. Okay. It prevents states from drawing district maps primarily based on race, which the court says can violate equal protection under the 14th Amendment, right? Now, supporters say it prevents states from engineering districts purely by race, even if done for diversity goals. Now, it sets clear rules. You need proof of intentional discrimination, not just unequal outcomes. Now, civil rights groups, many legal scholars, and dissenting justices strongly disagree. One, it says proving intent is extremely difficult now. States can claim maps are about politics, party advantage instead of race, even if minorities minorities are harmed. Okay, it weakens a key part of the Voting Rights Act. Critics say it guts, quote unquote, or eviscerates, and we heard them use that term a lot, Section 2, which protected minority voters for decades. Could reduce Black political representation. Fewer majority Black districts may be created or maintained. Some analysts say it could lead to less representation in Congress and the state legislatures. Opens doors to more aggressive redistricting. States may now redraw maps in ways that favor political parties but still harm minority voters. Now, it does not take away the right to vote. Black Americans still have full constitutional voting rights under the 15th Amendment, can still register and cast ballots. Political power and representation are not access to voting. So what it does affect, rather, political power and representation, not access to voting itself. In plain terms, you can still vote. I want to repeat that. You can still vote, but your vote may carry less influence if districts are drawn in ways that dilute it. This is called voter dilution, not voter suppression in the traditional sense. So, bottom line again, the ruling does not end voting rights. It changes how they are protected. It shifts the law from our quote unquote minorities being disadvantaged to can you prove the state intended to discriminate? Okay. Now it says that shift is why many experts say it could have long impacts on Black political representation, even though it doesn't block anyone from voting outright. Okay. Now I wanted to really give that a good conversation because the way it's being sold, in my opinion, is that, oh, it's going to affect your right to vote. That's not true because, again, they're putting it with the Voting Rights Act, right? Voting Rights Act of 1965, which basically said that this is to stop discrimination in voting regarding Black Americans. Okay, and I'm going to repeat that again, regarding Black Americans. This was about Black Americans, right? So then, not too long ago, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act came into, fruition, right? Because he marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge and, got his head bloodied and all that other stuff. And so the Democrats came up with the John Lewis Voting Rights, and he was still alive when they were talking about it. Never got passed. It's somewhere probably next to HR 40 collecting dust. And that was supposed to strengthen the voting rights that some deemed to have been stripped away over time. Again, it was never passed, okay? Now, it would have taken an act of Congress, although at the time, Joe Biden, who was the president, could have been a little bit more demonstrative about getting it passed like they did, let's say, of the Asian hate crime bill and other things, but not so much, right? So that was just kind of null and void. But I want to show y'all a couple of things, okay? This is just a few of the tweets and posts and things like that from, let's say, the Democrats, okay? So this one here, it's just a snippet, right? Because it was a lot more than that, and I'm sorry I cut it off. But Obama says, today's Supreme Court decision effectively guts a key pillar of the Voting Rights Act, freeing state legislators to gerrymander legislative districts to systematically dilute and weaken the voting power of racial minorities, okay? Remember, I told y'all 1965 was about Black Americans, but I want y'all to start picking up on some things, minorities. So as long as they do it under the guise of partisanship rather than explicit bias, and it was a lot of other stuff that he was saying, okay, but we ain't got all day for that. Then, At the bottom, this is Representative Chantel Brown from Ohio. She says, this week, the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act, dealing a major blow to fair representation for Black Americans and other minorities. Hold on now. How did the other minorities get involved in this, right? Because again, it was originally for us. Republicans are already acting to eliminate majority minority seats in Congress, okay? Sounds like you're worried about your own ass to me. Anyway, Kamala, she also had a very lengthy statement, but this is just a snippet of it. It says today's Supreme Court ruling guts the Voting Rights Act and turns back the clock on foundational promise of equality and fairness in our elections. And then your good old Congressional Black Caucus, it said happening soon. The Congressional Black Caucus will hold a press conference on Capitol Hill to address the Supreme Court's decision and just a few. Well, I watched it for you and I wanted to pull my hair out because my ears were starting to, I thought they were going to bleed, okay? But this is a snippet of some of what they were saying. Here we go.
Let's tell the truth, plainly and without apology. American democracy has never been fully formed and has never been equally accessible. Every inch of progress in this country has been fought for, won through struggle, through resistance, and through the courage of people this nation tried to leave behind. We did not become a truly multiracial democracy until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 enforced the 15th Amendment, because Black Americans demanded the right to be seen, heard, and counted. That progress was paid for in blood, in sacrifice, and in unbreakable resolve. And now, 60 years later, we are watching that progress be ripped away. With its decision in Louisiana v. Calais, the Supreme Court has opened the door to a coordinated attack on Black voters across this country.
Madam Chair, I'm Congresswoman Sewell. I represent Alabama's 7th Congressional District. We fondly call ourselves Alabama's Civil Rights District, which includes the historic cities of Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and my hometown of Selma, Alabama. Today, the far-right Supreme Court has dealt a devastating blow to our democracy and to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It will pave the way for the greatest reduction in representation for Black and minority voters since the years following Reconstruction. What the court did today makes it easier for bad state actors to silence the voices of Black voters and harder to challenge the discrimination in court. The court just gave states permission to use partisan gerrymandering as a wholesale excuse to deny Black and minority voters a voice in our democracy. I'm going to repeat that. The court just gave license to states to use partisan gerrymandering as an excuse to discriminate against the voices of the minority in government.
It was about 40 minutes long, okay? So again, a whole bunch of them got up and spoke, and it was wah, 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 wah. But I wanted y'all to pay attention to that because, first of all, Yvette D. Clarke, who is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, she is first-generation Jamaican, but she kept using the we, right? Our rights and this, that, and the other. Again, those civil rights were meant for Black Americans. Now, the other lady, Terry Sewell, I think she said her name was from Alabama, she said Black and minorities. And she says, let me repeat that, right? Minorities. So, okay, wait a minute now. I thought that was for us. I thought that you guys were called the Congressional Black Caucus. So why are all of y'all running around the internet and in TV and everywhere else you can think of talking about Black and minority? Now, this is the other thing. They think we're asleep, okay? They think we're asleep. They don't think that we saw them run all around, especially this last year. Illegal immigrants, illegal immigration. Oh, I'm following behind ICE. And we're gonna, they don't think we saw that. But we saw that, right? So when I hear them run around talking about, oh, Black voters representation, wait a minute now. I'm trying not to cuss, okay? What you mean representation? Who has been representing Black Americans? Can you show me who has been representing Black Americans? Because if you're talking about y'all, it surely wasn't y'all. Y'all been running around representing illegal immigrants and everybody else. And hell, y'all couldn't even pretend as y'all were fake outrage because y'all kept saying minorities. I've even heard people say Black and brown. It's like, wait a minute. In 1965, this was about Black Americans and nobody else. So now they're running around, wanting Black Americans to be freaked out. Now, I've seen a lot of other people, you scary such and suches, running around talking about y'all not scared enough of me. I've seen so many people say that y'all not scared enough of me. I'm like, what are we supposed to be scared of? What? You know, it doesn't take away. And I said this to a guy, you know, and God bless him. Okay. But I said, can I ask you something? Did they take away our right to vote, or did they just rule the congressional map of 2024 in Louisiana, portions of it, unconstitutional? He says, oh, you're misinformed. I'm like, no, you're misinformed. Because you're talking about why are we not scared? What are we supposed to be scared of? If you really wanted to vote, you just go vote. Right? Now, what they did, I think a lot of people really aren't picking up on is they're afraid that they may be a goner, like your Jasmine Crockett, right? And potentially your Representative Al Green, who is now vying for Sheila Jackson Lee's when she passed away, okay? And Sylvester Turner, he passed away, right? So he's fighting for that seat. It now belongs to a guy who just got in there, Chris Menifee. So Al Green has now had to move because his district is gone. Y'all remember when Trump told Greg Abbott to redistrict, to draw the maps and this, that, and the other? Well, they did it successfully. Then, you know, other states, blue states follow suit. So the point that I'm making is they're not worried about you, Black Americans. They're worried about their own careers. They're worried about their own seats. Okay, so don't be distracted. Do not be fooled. And please do not be emotional. And listen, one thing I'm clinging on to more and more now every day is that there are some Negroes that are no good here, and they'll be no good when we make it to whatever promised land, right? So I'm saying all that to say, for some of you scary Negroes out there, I wish that you would go to the island that I said we keep needing the name. You go to that island and y'all stay there together. Or if you're afraid that you're going back on the plantation, don't wait for them to come get you. Get your cotton bag and go find the nearest plantation with your scary self, right? And this is the other thing too. I'm not saying that the Republicans aren't up to something nefarious. They probably are, right? But see, the other thing too is the Democrats know y'all won't go research none of this stuff for yourself. They know all they got to do is get in front of microphones and tweet to death, and y'all gonna run around and y'all gonna parrot it, and your knees are gonna be shaking and bite off your nails over something you don't even know to be true yourself. So in part, can you vote as a Black American? Yes. Is it unconstitutional to, as I say, gerrymander the maps? Yes. Because think about it this way, okay? What if white, and I know white folks got their little shenanigans, okay? But if a white town said we want to rope it off and have our own white, you know, and some people will say America is that in and of itself, the Democrats wouldn't have it. They might, I don't know, right? But so y'all need to, not y'all, them over there, really need to start thinking, because the Democrats bet on you being asleep at the wheel, and they don't give a damn about you as a Black American. They care more about illegal immigrants and everybody else than you. And more importantly, they care about their jobs. That's what they care about.
Well said. Oh my gosh, that was well said and so full of facts. We try to deal with facts here. So Demetra, that was well said. But did not the Democrats know that the Voting Rights Act was under assault for over 10 years? Every election cycle since Obama, they would say the voting rights are under assault. They're dismantling it. They're doing this, they're doing that. So in 10 to 15 years, what has Black legislation done in regards to either strengthening the Voting Act or supplementing it in some way, adding to it to strengthen it? They haven't done anything, but every election cycle, it's the most pivotal election of your lifetime. Every election cycle. Oh, we've got to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Well, you had 2 years under Biden to do anything you wanted to do. And what did you decide to do, Democrats? You need to get behind the Mexicans and the Hispanics. That's what you need to do. That's what they told you. If you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. The real truth and understanding of this, you guys, is this breaks up the monopoly of Democrat voting base within the Black community, because instead of it's okay to gerrymander. Let's kind of correct that. It's illegal to gerrymander under race, which goes to the 1968 Discrimination Act, Federal Discrimination Act. So you can't do it based on race unless it's an extreme case. And I've been reading you guys' comments in the comments, Demetria. These people are on it. This is why I dislike having conversations with our co-hosts, because they have more information than we actually do. But isn't it amazing that the Democrats are talking about how unconstitutional this move is by the Supreme Court, which just interprets law versus making law? The Democrats could have proposed and made a bunch of laws and just jammed it through Congress for the Supreme Court to interpret it to see if it's right or wrong. But they didn't do that. But isn't it funny that they're losing their minds because the Supreme Court said this is unconstitutional? Did not the Democrats redistrict California? Did not the Democrats redistrict Virginia? Oh, but that's okay when the Democrats do it based on racial terms. But when other groups do it and play the same game, it's not okay. And the Republicans, and we're not defending Republicans, we're saying the political game, it's okay to gerrymander. But look at some of these maps when you look at where Black people live. Jasmine Crockett, do you guys want to know one of the reasons why she lost in Texas? Her strongholds were only in areas where it was gerrymandered. She's stronger in the Dallas area and the Houston area where a lot of Black people live. But outside of that, she has no political strength. This is one of the reasons why she lost. They are breaking up the monopoly of Black people voting Democrat, because put it like this, now with fairer maps, Democrats actually have to compete. If I was a Democratic candidate, why the hell would I want to put, and Dimitri, you talked about this on the African Diaspora News Channel app. Why would I have to compete and give resources to a group of people that are going to vote for me 90% plus anyway? They're calling for that right now. The guy that the Democrats have backed in Texas, he hasn't even gone to any Black areas to campaign for. So now the Democrats are in full panic because now they actually have to compete for Black votes. Let's be real about this. White people are 50-50. Asians and Hispanics are 60-40 on average. Black people, we're 90 plus Democrat. If we start doing what the other groups are doing, maybe we would have a better outcome. But then let's look at it like this with the CBC and all these other people. We've had Black representation for over 60 years. And how much better are we now? In my opinion, I would rather have Asian representation or white representation, because at least if you got that, we have a better chance of getting something. Their humanity would say, God, we got to throw these Negroes a bone or something, because you have Black representation, you get absolutely nothing. But they knew that this bill was under assault for over 15, 20 years, and they chose to do nothing. That is where we're at. But let's get to you guys' comments, because you guys are right on it.
Absolutely, sure. We learn from everybody, right? It's a give and take. We learning and all kind of stuff. So hello to everybody. Bill, how you doing? Says sorry, I mute the BS on the minority BS. Continued delineation and separation from the system, and what happens. There you go. And I think too, and I want to say too, thank you to DMAC for the coffee. I appreciate that. And Black Panther Strike, thank you so much. And I agree with you. It's not a surprise about Clarence Thomas. And the other thing too is with the Supreme Court being stacked the way it is. Obama had an opportunity to choose Merrick Garland in 2016, but he listened to Mitch McConnell say, wait a minute, it's too close to election. And so Obama acquiesced. He was like, oh, okay. But guess what? When Trump was leaving 38 days before his term was up, he was like, I ought to pick Amy Cohen Barrett, whatever her name is. And he did, and they pushed her through. And so then the question came, okay, wait a minute now. Republicans, I thought y'all said we can't pick too close to a new election, and they did it anyway. So the other criticism is that the Democrats just like, well, we're going to play by the rules per se, right? And they complain about it. But many also argue that Obama should have just did it, right? You should have just you should have just picked somebody or
It is your power to do that. He should have just did it.
right, but he didn't. So that's how it ended up being 6-3. It probably still would have been a conservative majority, but not to the tune that it is now had Obama said, "Oh, okay, let me do that."
And then we also got to remember Ginsburg stayed on the court too long. And that's another problem which played into the Republican hands. She died on the seat.
Right. As a lot of them end up doing, right? Scalia, that's the one that they were replacing. He was like, okay, I'm gonna check on out of here, right? Easy but black. I'm not minority, but that's what they keep saying. So again, they were never representing us at all, but they want to use our emotions to keep them in office. That's what that is. Oh, we're going to continue fighting, right? That's what they're saying. We're going to continue. When did you start fighting for us? Okay. Who are you going to continue fighting for? Because as it is known, the black votes keep them in office, right? They cannot do it. Democrats in general cannot do it without the black vote. So they need us to vote. Okay. And then when they get in office, they say, thank you, sucker. Now we're going to go continue helping everybody else. But this is a guilt trip from the left, from the black Democrats. And you mostly hear the black Democrats. You don't so much hear the white ones, trying to, down the hill. It's the black ones. It's like, why? Because you are trying to keep your job. Yeah, and you need us to keep your job. And see, the other thing too is you walk into a dark room, and let's say your sister or your brother keeps jumping out from behind the door. First couple times it's like, oh. After a while, you get conditioned. Like, I know they probably behind the door, right? So when they say, you're like, okay, you got me. So the effect wears off. And that's where we are as Black Americans now. The effect is worn off. It's like, I'm going to go have a V8. Do you want me to bring you back one? Because we really don't give a damn, okay? Because we know, again, this is about you keeping your job. This is because there's so many things that you could have done for Black Americans, you just didn't do, okay? And so now that you didn't do it, then I don't know what to tell you. You want low sodium V8 or regular V8? I don't know. All right, skipping down. Ruth Tracker, what's going on with you? Quelly, what's going on with you? Says intro to double edge of the Voting Rights Act. You says 1965 was not created because America suddenly decided to be fair. It was created because states had spent generations blocking Black political power through law, violence, intimidation, fraud, and procedure. The 15th Amendment said the right to vote could not be denied or abridged because of race, color, or previous conditions of servitude. But after Reconstruction, states found ways around that promise. And then your comment cut off, and I get what you're saying. Yes, that's the premise of it. But okay, what have the so-called Democrats that didn't switch? What did they do to protect that? What did they do? They didn't do a damn thing to do it. And so now we're here. Now all of a sudden, everybody's, it's like what is the highest fire? 4-alarm, 5-alarm, whatever it is, fire. Everybody's supposed to be running around the house like a chicken with their head cut off. It's like, we're just not afraid, okay? You know why we're not afraid? Because we've watched them stutter on reparations. We watched them stutter on, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, against police brutality, and a hate crime bill, and a whole host of other things that we wanted. We've seen them. We even listen. Okay, I'm going to find the video so y'all can see that I'm telling the truth. You got Democrats right now running around talking about when they get the gavel back, they are giving reparations to illegal immigrants for the trauma that they experienced through Trump. And you mother want me to be mad about a funky map? Don't get me started. Dear self, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Nicole, what's going on? She says, Terry said, well, it's for immigration because I was on her town hall meeting. It doesn't surprise me at all. Talking about, we're the Alabama, the civil rights. Shut up, okay? You're just cosplaying at this point. They're all for illegal immigration, but guess what? It's not working. And when Kamala didn't get in office, it foiled their plan. And so now they're trying to guilt. You know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if the Democrats aren't low-key happy that this happened, because now they got another carrot, right? Or maybe get a little bit of steak with the beans and rice that they are carrying in front of you, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yes, now we have something else to tell Black Americans why you got to keep us in office, I don't know.
And notice, if you guys notice in that interview with the CBC and a lot of their talking points, everything goes back to Jim Crow, this, that, the civil rights era. They're playing to an old generation that don't have the numbers anymore. They don't have the baby boomers do not have the numbers that they used to have, because every day they're going on the glory. So, but notice they're catering to that group because that's the playbook they've used for over 60 years. It's worked for over 60 years. And now they are seeing that is not working with the younger crowds, and they're in panic mode because nobody is, how can you say it? They're kind of like in love with the civil rights era. Oh, I'm not with Martin Luther King. I'm not with Martin Luther King. You know, all of that stuff. Because younger people are seeing that nothing is being left for us and moving into the future.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, God bless our ancestors, the boomers and all of that, for doing what they thought was best. But, you know, as what did Kamala say, it's the same old playbook. They're using the same old playbook, and it just doesn't have the same call to emotions as it did back in the day. We're more or less like y'all showed y'all natural black behinds to us, the benign neglect that y'all, you know, practice and still are practicing. And I honestly believe that the Democrats will get back into power during the midterms. I don't know. I just think there's a strong possibility that they will. But, you know, I also believe that more and more Black Americans are saying, what's in it for me? You know, and Child of God says they all have doctor or PhD next to their names to the Boule class is about to crash out. We don't care. You know, and I'm not saying to you, I'm saying, you know why we don't care? It's because they've also been selling us up the river for a bunch of nothing, for their betterment. That's all they care about, right? The gatekeepers of white supremacy. And if you don't think that the Democrats are part of white supremacy, you got another thing coming, right? So yeah, they're crashing out because a lot of us is like, stop talking to us, okay? Not only stop talking to us, but stop playing with us, okay? We're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. Christopher says Clyburn sold his own out. Blacks moved to neighborhoods for better. Clyburn, with the help of GOP, agreed to help him capture them back to the plantation so he can win. This made the GOP stronger. I don't doubt that. I mean, look at how he talks. Didn't he also say that Obama was in a sense of form of reparations? You know, I don't doubt that at all. A lot of them are really probably working hand in hand for this theater that everybody's getting these high-ass tickets to attend. You know, they're all acting.
Jim Clyburn also, there's actual factual records where he collaborated with Republicans from South Carolina to gerrymander his district to where he is the only Black congressional representative out of South Carolina. He has the only Black district in South Carolina.
Yeah, and then he got, I thank you, Ma. How you doing, by the way? And then he got the nerd talking about, I think I's gonna run again. It's like, dude, this may be your last thing that you do on earth. You want to spend it doing this? I don't know, you know. Albie Chill says, I said the same thing on damn, y'all done called this man some Chili D's channel. Always pushing fear, but never pushing a response. Yeah, what we scared of? What are we scared of at this point? Nothing. Quan, he says taxation without representation is tyranny. Thus, I blame Obama when he had the power in the Senate and Congress and could have changed the Supreme Court reparations for FBA and anti-Black hate crime law or no vote. Yeah, he didn't want to do that. None of them. Kamala does not want to do it. She talks and walks a good game, or talks rather. She doesn't want to do it. And I don't think they're allowed to do it. Right? They sell you the hope and change, like Ann Coulter said, who was very right wing. She says Obama told everybody about hope and change, right? That was his mantra, hope and change. She says, but he never defined it, and nobody ever asked him to, because especially we as Black Americans, you know, it's that we shall overcome. Overcome what? Well, I don't know. Just a good song, right? Hope and change. What are you hoping for? You gonna hope he changes his mind? What are we hoping? I don't know. It's a good t-shirt slogan, right? So yeah, they could have done a lot of things and they just didn't want to, and they still do not want to. But guess what? we might want to sit on the couch. I don't know. At least for them anyway.
Right. Easy says Clyburn's district is poor as F and he only gives out fish fries. But here's my question, Easy. Around the United States, show me a black district that is rich. Have you guys noticed that? Most black areas, districts, we're talking about district, not like area. I know there's certain areas in certain cities, you got some boulets and all that stuff like that. But mostly congressional black districts, most of them are very poor. Baltimore, what did Trump say in his first term when he called out Elijah Cummings? He goes, your district is an asshole. I mean, and these are facts. Where there are black Democrat districts, they are poorly ran and kept. And they have black representation. I think that's a problem. Why is it that where there are black people live in black districts, it is poorly ran?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because there's a lot of reasons. One, there's a lot of apathy in black districts. A lot of black voters are like, what's the point? You know, y'all not gonna do nothing for us anyway. Y'all gonna keep saying we gonna try. I mean, hell, like you said, the video I did, they don't even go campaign in the black districts, right? So, and then a lot of black voters are just like, well, you know, I don't like, I'm disappointed, disenfranchised, not just by the system, but this party who claims that they care about us. And then I hate when people say, oh, we gotta fight. Well, I gotta fight you. I sent you to office. You're supposed to go to office and do for the people in your area, your district, or whatever it is, right? But I gotta fight. I gotta make you. I gotta come up to the city hall meeting and scream and holler to make you do something when I didn't have to do that. When you said, "Oh, vote for me," I'm gonna make sure. But now I got to come and twist your arm behind your back. See, we got to stop allowing them to do that. Well, if you just vote hard enough, if you just show up. If you just have hope and change, no. If I vote for you, you need to go do for me like you go do for everybody else. And if you don't, then kick rocks with open-toe shoes on or something. But yeah, Roost Tracker, they don't want their checks to dry up because I'm going to say allegedly, right? But they checks are probably tied to as many as black folks they can keep on the plantation, right? Don't let them have a thought of their own, in a sense, be the thought police. If you know, you know, right? And have them participating in group think. They all have to think the same thing. Because if you think I'm lying, why don't they guilt white folks who vote the way they want to vote? Asians who vote the way, and Hispanics. Nobody else gets, you're getting uninvited and you this and you that. And we're the only group of people because they expect for all of us to remain on the plantation. As I asked the other day on the African Diaspora News Channel, I got 1 foot. How many y'all got? If you know, you know, right? Because what was Kunta Kinte trying to do? Kunta Kinte was trying to get off the plantation, even to the tune they cut his foot off, right? So like I said, I'm hobbling with 1 foot because I'm always going to try to escape the plantation. But see, they want y'all to keep your feet.
But let's think about this, you guys. Why is it in the black community we have an expectation that the government is supposed to take care of us? Why do we have that expectation? And I'm going to say it like this. I want you guys to follow me real quick. We have an expectation of free healthcare, right? I don't know why we have that. I don't think it's right that my money has to be used so that you can have free healthcare. It's your job to provide free healthcare for yourself, in my opinion. But I digress with that. We have an expectation that the government should house us. We have an expectation that the government should feed us and clothe us and all this other stuff, right? A socialist bastion within a capitalist system, right? Now, let's go back to slavery. What was the expectation of the master? The master had a slave. His expectation was he had to feed the slave, he had to clothe the slave, he had to house the slave. And we have these districts that are controlled by democratic policies that they fight tooth and nail to keep. Do you guys see the parallel there? I do.
Absolutely. And somebody said, let go back here. Victoria, you say evening time is D. Well, evening to you says update. Biden changed the name of the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act, Advancement Act of 2025, passed in July 2025. If you don't stop lying, Biden was nowhere near that damn White House in July of 2025. I need you to stop, okay? And I'm assuming you joking. Mata Goat, what's going on? Says, hey, invited by dear self. All right now. Thanks for accepting the invitation. Welcome. See, Nub Glory, what's going on? Says the Black Democrat Shields are also upset that they can't help elevate immigrants over foundational Black Americans as easily anymore. They almost got away with it. They almost did. All they needed for Kamala to do was get in office, and it was gonna be. They was, man. You think them floodgates was open when Biden was in office? You can only imagine, right? So let's see. Skipping down. Okay. Quelly, you say page 2, Fannie Lou Hamer, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, and the cost of compromise the Voting Rights Act did not come from speeches alone. It came from people forcing America to look at the machinery that had been blocking Black political power for generations. One of the clearest examples was Mississippi in 1964. That is where Fannie Lou Hamer and the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party exposed the lie the regular Mississippi Democrat Party claimed to represent the state, but Black Mississippians were left out. I think that's what your thing was saying. Yes, that's why she and her the farmers and things like that in the rural area, very rural areas, they made their own party. They had to fight to do that. They had to fight to be included at the Democratic convention. So that was the Democrats. Now I know some people say, "Oh, that was before the Southern switch," or that happened. But that whole conversation gets on my nerves. But yeah, you're right. That's why she had to even make her own party. You're absolutely right. Well, she along with the people she was representing. So thank you for that. Easy says 100% agree. They are shaking in fear, losing the good tier 1 benefits. Yeah, that's what it is. Black people. I know we've been neglecting you, but if you just show up this time, they trying to stop us. And like oh gosh, somebody said, I forgot your name, but you basically said that you live in Louisiana. It's a red state. That's not a surprise. Yeah, Louisiana is a red state, but like you said, also I can vote. But again, the play is, we can't vote. Just like they're saying that, part of the SAVE Act is you need to get an ID. Listen, Black folks, especially, and I hate that they just act like we so stupid. We have to have an ID. If you needed to go pick up the homie's child from school, they're going to say, great. Can I see your ID to verify that this is you? Yeah, sure. You want to go buy you a 40 ounce, okay? If that's your jank of choice, you got to show what? An ID. You want to go to the club on Saturday night, you got to show an ID. But all of a sudden, when it comes to voting, we ain't got no IDs. Well, why don't you, make a way out of no way? Donovan, California, it probably has one of the highest costs for an ID and or driver's license. What is it? When I was there, it was $55. What is it now?
I think it's still $55.
Yeah, if they don't raise it, because it sounds like they're trying to do some of toll road stuff and gas.
Road tax.
60, y'all paying 61 cents a gallon for a tax. 61 cents a gallon in California. Gas for tax. It's
and our roads are still jacked up, and traffic is 2-3 hours deep.
Crazy. Brother Reggie, he say in the middle of a workout, but tuned in. I worked out earlier this morning. I got it in. But I'm glad that you're here. Bobby, what's going on with you? Says it was run by immigrants. Anyway, they were doing anything. They weren't rather doing anything for foundational Black Americans. And what is that as well, Donovan?
Yeah, and real quick, I want to say another reason why they're panicking and this is why I'm going to tell you guys, I don't think the Democrats are going to win the midterms, is because right now, because of that ruling, a lot of red states are scrambling to redraw their maps. And in Louisiana, that's like 5 seats gone or whatever, how many seats it is. So think of all these other red states that are redrawing their maps to take away those seats. And this blue wave that's going to happen, I'm sorry. They told you guys Kamala was going to win the election by a landslide. It didn't happen. Now that they've got this ruling behind them, How many seats do you think the Democrats are going to lose as they redraw these districts? Jasmine Crockett is out of politics. She's gone. So all of these other Democrats that are panicking right now, their districts are going to be redrawn. They are gone, especially guys like Al Green that have been there for years. They're not coming back. They're not coming back. So you got to look at the whole context of what this ruling means and why they are panicking so badly to put you in fear to get back on the plantation.
Yeah, or they could just have faith that, the people in that district will vote for them. If you've been doing a great job for everybody in the district, maybe they'll miss you and say, hey, okay, let's vote them in or whatever it is. So it remains to be seen. Enlighten, how you doing? Said, hey, Dimitri and Donovan, I'm so glad that the Supreme Court did what they did. Now the CBC bootlegs can't have safe seats and will have to compete for our vote with some tangible. See, again, that's the quiet part that we are paying attention. We hear loudly, right? That's the quiet part they don't want to mention. Now we really got to earn your vote. You're damn right, right? So I know a lot of people run around freaking out, shaking in their boots and stuff, but this is actually a good thing because now it's going to put their feet on the fire and make them have to show up and do the work, right? Again, WIFBA, what's in it for Black Americans to vote for you, right? Don't come talking about that, blacks and minorities. And again, we're not saying vote do for us only. We're saying do for us and to also, like you do for everybody else. So yeah, now they got to really get that. It ain't that just, I'm gonna fry up the fryer for a fish fry. I think they like that. We got some fish left over from 4 years ago. All right. Thaw it out. No, you actually got to do something now, right? Black Panther Strike said Jasmine Crockett was a mammy and glad she's gone. Yeah, I saw a lot of people were pointing out how intelligent she is now, right? She's speaking so astute. She ain't that. Trump is Putin's how. And all of that.
Honey child. Let me tell you.
Right. Yeah, King Noble, you said Jasmine was in a Spanish nightclub. I talked about that. She was in their campaign and she says, listen up. She was talking to them crazy. And even in their comment section, it's like, who's she talking to? She said, y'all better get y'all ish together and show up. First of all, we in here doom. Right. We got our tequila. Here you come in here, killing the vibe. Talking about y'all better get y'all ish together. Whatever. MC Fact says Crockett was for the undocumented. Yeah, she was. Jake, how you doing? Says, so let's get this straight. These, I say Republicans, have all three branches of government and the Supreme Court 6-3 with Trump most likely at 2 more, gerrymandering every black district. Yeah, that's, for the most part, what's going on. But how does that stop the Congressional Black Caucus from doing anything for their most loyal group of voters or the Democrats? What does that got to do with them, right? Black folks done everything we were supposed to do. And I say we, I mean collectively, right? Voted for the Democrats more than anybody. And then they want to keep on bringing up Trump. See, that's why Kamala lost, because she was Trump. Right? And people was like, I'm more scared that you're going to continue to keep these border doors open and let more and more people come on in here and move into the black neighborhoods and get all the stuff. And now they talking about, see, aren't y'all scared? I don't give a damn what Trump and the Republicans got going on. Their time is up any damn way, okay? But y'all not more scared of the Democrats saying when they get the gavel back, they gonna get reparations for illegal immigrants who came over here on their own free will. That doesn't bother y'all. Y'all still want to, and I don't know if that's necessarily what you're saying, Jake, but y'all want to still keep running around talking about Trump when the Democrats said with their whole chest that they're gonna give reparations to illegal immigrants. That doesn't bother you more? When Black Americans way back from the plantation has been inspecting our 40 acres and a mule land reparations, that doesn't bother you? How is it that y'all can fix your mouth to say anything about Trump who don't even know whether he coming and going from day to day? But yet these Democrats who are supposed to be coherent are talking about reparations. I'll never understand it. I won't. And I don't. And I don't. And like I said, I don't know about everybody else in this space. Oh, but Demetra K gonna keep on talking about that. See, because I'm not one of those people that say, well, we're gonna talk about it just once or twice. Nah, any and every chance I get, I'm gonna talk about them wanting to give illegal immigrants reparations. The hell?
Well, what the Republicans gonna give you? What the Republicans gonna give you?
Well, what do we give them?
Nothing.
Right. Trump got what? Roughly, I don't know, give or take 18% of the vote, which is more so than most any Republican candidate for presidency in the modern day time got, but still pale in comparison to what Kamala got, right? So we're not going to talk about who we don't do for the most. The Democrats should be at our beck and call, right? They should be washing our, I don't want their lips on my feet, really their hands either, but they should be washing our feet, right? Biden stood up there, Black Americans, you had my back and I'm going to have yours. And he went in that White House and cussed everybody out and didn't look back.
Ever find out who brought the cocaine into the White House?
Maybe they was too high to remember. I don't know. CJ, see what's going on with you. Hope you're doing well. Let me skip down a little bit because I see I'm behind. Vanessa, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. Says, oh, how the wheels have turned. They are losing their rabbit minds over not being represented at all. Wait, it feels familiar. Yeah, that's what this is really about. And Quelly, I appreciate you for putting the legislation and things like that in the chat on Facebook. I just can't read them all. But yeah, that's what they've been doing to us. Benign neglect.
Oh, real quick, I just got the voting guide here in the Inland Empire. Do you guys know we have the midterms coming up? It is appalling to me at how many candidates are running unopposed in my local elections here. That is unbelievable that nobody wants to, and some of these elections are nonpartisan, so it doesn't matter what your party is. But the point is, nobody should be running unopposed in local elections at all.
But to your point, that's how a lot of them get in, right? Unopposed. Give how you doing? Says creating districts based on race is a bad idea. You end up with Asian districts, Arab districts, Latino, white, and etc. based on nothing more than ethnic background. And you know what you'd be told? That those do exist. They exist, right? Especially here in Houston, they have their own parts of towns and things like that. Now, are they specifically calling it that as a voters block? Probably not. But I'm sure they have a lot of influence over politicians in politics, which is what we should have, right? Because like I said in my video that I did the other day on my channel, I don't give a damn about a map. Black folks can't eat a map. They care more about the map in their own jobs than they do the black people in the maps, right? Like I said, I came outside of Walmart and I never seen so many black homeless people. It's getting worse and worse, right? And I was so mad. I was really mad because I'm like, they want, like, imagine telling them, hey, in Louisiana, the Supreme Court, they ruled it unconstitutional for you to have a black district. They would probably say, I don't give a damn about that. I'm trying to figure out why I'm asleep tonight or if I'm going to eat today, right? That's what they should care about. If they cared about that more, then maybe this will resonate with people like, oh, damn, we need to keep our black representation here because they do so much for us. But, trying to guilt black folks into, oh, gosh, they're taking this away from you. And then in the same breath, talking about minorities and brown, like who you think you're talking to? It's the craziest thing. Willie, how you doing? Says, oh, well, FBAs are going to be fine either way. The Democrats aren't entitled to our votes. If they want our votes, they must earn them. No tangibles, no vote, period. And I'm telling you what it is. They think we're stupid, right? Oh, and see, because they know most, and I tell you every day, I pray to Allah and I say, look, I just want to think like you. So I can't really say the things that I've been saying, y'all. It's hard, right? But some of them people out there, I say this is twiddly dees and twiddly dumbs, right? They know most people, because in a sense, they're kind of saying that, oh, your votes are in danger. Are they? You can still vote. The district is not roped off as a black district anymore. You can still vote. But what's going to happen is the Democrats going to keep talking like that to where black folks going to say, well, what's the point? They took my voting rights away. That's not what they did, but that's what the Democrats are implying. So it could backfire. DMAX says they could do what's in their best interest. And let's see. I just want to make sure that I get everybody's comment. Who else haven't I seen? Maureen, how you doing? Lib Slayer says Trump 2028. Now you know damn well that ain't possible. Like Kamala said, that ain't possible. It's not possible, okay? He already ran twice. Now, are they up to some shenanigans? And Lib Slayer, can I ask you a question? Do you want to take a wager if whether he'd be here or not then? Because they said that Trump had an emergency visit to the doctor yesterday. Why? Said something about a dentist or something. Really? So I didn't know. 2028 is looking like a long shot just for a whole host of other reasons, right? And then at the press conference, the dinner they had last week, somebody tried to get at him. Or I don't know, was they trying to get at him or they was in there pew-pewing nevertheless. So I'm just asking. Let's see.
Wait a minute. Wait. Don't try to gloss over this. Don't try to gloss over this. Democrat constantly tell you it is safe in our neighborhoods and violence isn't really what we think it is, but yet they have armed security. You mean to tell me somebody tried to take a pew-pew to the president of the United States and yet they're telling us that our neighborhoods are safe?
Well, they know damn well our neighborhoods aren't safe. Hell, the world ain't safe. You know what I mean? The world ain't safe, let alone ours. But again, you know, there's so much to be desired in the Black community, and they talk about a rope around a district. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying that the parents shouldn't be more responsible for their children, but we also know where there's a lack of resources, there's higher crime, and they don't care about that, right? They got mad when Trump sent in the National Guards in some of these cities, but then these people who lived there was like, thank you. Because, you know, we got tired of hearing about elderly people getting hit over their head. Right now in Los Angeles, they got a chain snatching phenomenon going on where they bringing back 1980 style snatching out like Debo. Okay, they Deboing people in LA, snatching off the chains. They chain snatching. Again, I'm not saying this is necessarily the politician's fault, but there is a breakdown in society where you hear this happening in blue cities, and it's like, why? Okay, clearly, and a lot of these people are adults, from what I understand, that are doing this. But again, when you have a lack of resources. And LA, it's almost impossible to live unless you just got some money or you live in 99 people to a house. Okay. So very true. Let's see. Skipping down. Who else haven't I seen? Sherry says, what are we afraid of them not doing anything for us? Hell, we know they're not. It's about them keeping their job, and the same people they fight for the Hispanics and others. They're trying to take these Black seats, and I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for them either. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Don already was going on with you.
Minute flag on the field that just said that. You know doggone well the Black and Brown Coalition has been in existence since the 1950s. How dare you guys sit up there and say that Hispanics don't stand up for Black people? I saw the other day where a Hispanic cop told us her real feelings about how she feels about the Black and Brown Coalition.
I don't know what coalition you talking about, but okay. It doesn't exist. It should exist. The Black, brown, yellow, red, and everybody else, it should exist. It just does not exist. And it's the very same people who keep talking about Black and brown unity have done a bang up job making sure there is no Black and brown unity, because even the Black Congressional Caucus, right? They run around helping the brown and kicking the Black in the tailbone. So even they don't believe in Black and brown unity. And they're in fact making it worse, because the brown, if I was a brown, I'm like, yeah, these Negroes, they do everything for us and they're nothing for their own people. So what are you talking about, Black and brown unity? They don't even believe in it. If you believed in it, then you would be acting in that way. But again, Black and brown unity only means the Black show up to help the brown, but never the brown show up to help the Black. That's what that means. So they should just be called on out of that as well. You don't believe in Black and brown unity? Because I ain't saying in the back alleys looking for Black Americans. They're in the back alleys. This is what Maxine Waters said, right? They're in the back alleys looking for illegal immigrants. So what are you talking about? You know? Infamously, what's going on with you? Victoria says, Demon Rat, Priscilla, Permelia, J. Paul want reparations for the illegals. Yeah, you know, ain't that see, people talking about they're not mad enough for me about the voting rights. Y'all not mad enough for me about she talking about she want to get reparations for illegal immigrants. How y'all not mad about that? Like, shut up. Trying to be nice, but it ain't working. Aboriginal Copper, how you doing? Says, Pat my popcorn read. Well, what is that? Let's see. Renz, what's going on with you, Sylvia? What's going on? He says, hope they don't get the gavel back, not voting for Democrats. I think that they will. I think they'll get it back, and I think they will try to fight to get illegal immigration reparations. You know what? I think, well, Tad is. Can't really say what I want to say. S. Frederick, what's going on with you? Says, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dems are in agreement as well. I agree. Yeah, she said the Democrats. She says we. So when you say we, that means more than just me. And y'all ain't seen no Democrat come out and say, wait a minute now, Premilia, you don't speak for us. How dare you? We're working on getting the blacks reparations. Did you hear Maxine? Did you hear Jazzy Jazz? How about Hakeem, who was standing back there? Watch. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm going to pause it.
Let's tell the truth.
Let me see. Hold on.
Plainly.
Look how he looking in the back. That's how he was looking the whole time. I was like, damn, is he alive back there?
Do you know what the crazy thing is about Hakeem? I saw a picture of him and his family when he was younger. These were people that ran around in the 70s and late 60s with African dashikis on. So his family comes from very woke, I can't say woke, but activist type people. And for him to sell his self the way he has done it, I just don't get it with him. He comes from a very activist type family.
Wow. Little Bobby Rush as well. And they get that key put in their back, and then they say, yes, whatever you want, right?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is when he beat and got that seat that he got in New York, guess who funded him and put him on that seat? AIPAC. And notice he never speaks against AIPAC.
That's what I said. You get the key in your back, right? And they wind it up and they say, now you go.
Mm-hmm. But he's always talking about Trump's illegal war and with Iran and this, that. But if you look at his voting record, he continually funds it.
See, I don't know why I'm whispering, but I was having this conversation with somebody earlier, Donovan. They was talking about, Kamala, she wouldn't. I said, pump your brakes. Okay. They would have put the key in Kamala's back too. I said, but I wonder why the Democrats or people who supporting the Democrats, they don't, like you said, why don't they talk about a lot of the Democrats voted to continue giving them more money and weapons? Why don't y'all ever mention that? Why don't y'all mention that they didn't vote for him to stop him being Trump when he went off and did what he wanted to do? Why didn't they vote and say, hey, knock it off right now? We will not be engaged in whatever this thing is, because they haven't officially called it a war, even though they call it a war. Why didn't they vote? Some of them did, but most of them didn't, right?
Because the War Powers Act gives the president the power to do and put troops in harm's way he has 60 days to report back to Congress.
Yeah.
60 days to report back to Congress. But what they're not telling you guys is if he went to war tomorrow, Congress could repeal everything the next day after that. They don't have to wait 60 days to do anything to him.
But see, they know that people won't even dig that far. They won't go that far in the weeds. Trump! Oh, they all could have voted and even if they didn't stop him, they could have voted to stop him and say, at least I tried. But even Jasmine Crockett was on board with giving Israel a whole bunch of money as well. So, let's just call a thing a thing. Yanni, good evening to you as well. You says, y'all, the Democrats here in Louisiana are in extreme panic mode. Cleo Fields and Ed Levadin want to hold a town hall meeting at the church. What you want to say? What you want to say? What you want to say that you should have been saying that you ain't already said? What do you want to say? You want us to listen, gas is high as hell, okay? You want us to waste good gas money to drive down to the church?
If y'all are not in California, please don't talk about gas is high. Y'all don't know what high gas is.
It's high for where we at, right? The cost of the minimum wage is in Texas is $7.25. Gas on average is about $4.30, okay? So you giving up a good hour, right? Or more than a half an hour on the job to put a gallon of gas in your car, okay? But yeah, what they gonna say to you that they already say? Show up to the church. No, you bring your raggedy self into the neighborhood and talk to the people. Why we got to come to you, Jackie Brown, that was my mama's favorite movie, by the way. How you doing? Says, now they're trying. I am so far behind this comments, Mama Kendra. Now they're trying to stop the states from actually giving reparations on the state level, but it needs to be on the federal level so they will fall in line, stay effective. Yeah. They don't care about them on the state or the federal, but it ain't gonna be up to them, right? House of Nicole, how you doing? Says our ancestors would be disgraced at us. Do tell. MC. So let me. Bill, I'm sorry, I saw that come up a long time ago. That's how far behind I am. But thank you. He says all they talking about is immigration, but never for FBA. I can't, with good conscience, ever trust them or vote for them until cash reparations, continue delineations, and separation. I totally agree with you. And that's where we are now. AMO will just get us in office and hold them accountable. That's what they're saying. I heard Al Sharpton say that you got to get them in office and hold them. Why we got to do that? So we got to twist their arm behind their back.
Well, Dimitri, you know that the Action Network, whatever his Action Network thing is, they have candidates that they hold accountable to reparations and all that other stuff.
I heard that lie. I heard it. And it's just a lie. Okay. Luke, they're not going to roll back. Now Biden didn't roll back a lot of the stuff that Trump did either. They said they were, but they didn't. And Quelly, I see your comments. Let me skip down so I could catch up. I didn't realize I was so behind. Brother Thunder, how are you? Brother Damon in the building. Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else haven't I seen. Okay, Quelly says the problem you two have is poor understanding of government. Okay, if you believe this does not affect Black communities, then you are not understanding how power works. Voting rights are not only about whether someone can walk into a booth and cast a ballot. Voting rights are also about district maps, representation, enforcement, court rulings, and whether Black voters have a real opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. A law can stay on paper while the Supreme Court narrows it and the comment cut off. Oh, we understand, okay? But so we understand outside of the talking points that you just rattled off. We understand that those Black people, in that district, it's more so about the politicians are saying, well, we can't get it, now we got to get it out the mud, okay? And do those Black folks really have a choice, right? If you got some, and I don't know about Louisiana, but in some cases, you got Black politicians like in South Carolina who've been in there forever. Maxine Waters, they in their 80s, about to be kissing 90, and they in there. So do they really have a choice? Do you think most Black voters would keep and no shade to older people? I'm going to get there one day too. But do you think they would really keep them in office? Or is it big money that's being represented there? Let's keep it real. Because if you ask any, and I have some people from Louisiana have said they still going to vote. So do you think those politicians really care about Black people? Hell no, they don't. So I hear what you're saying, what it's about, but those are the talking points you get from the Democratic plantation. But again, if Black folks are really in fear of losing something, admit that they had something to begin with.
Well, and let me address this. All your talking points that you just pointed out, do you think a poor Black person in a neighborhood or a violent neighborhood give a damn about your talking points? The point is they need help right now. What are all those talking points going to do? 60 years of doing those talking points that you keep talking about, and here we are. We're in a worse position now than we were before civil rights even happened. Please explain that.
Yeah, and you talking about it's crazy to sit here and broadcast false information without checking your material against the actual law. First of all, you can't check us, boo-boo. Get on your own podcast or your broadcast, and you can spew all the Democratic talking points that you want. But what we are not going to do, and our heart pumps no Kool-Aid, is sit up here and listen to the bullcocker of the Democrats who do nothing for our Black Americans, and all of a sudden we supposed to feel something. I don't care if they lose their job. They some of them need to lose their job and go and get a regular job and feel what it's like to be the rest of us, right? They have to sit and watch somebody supposed to go to office and do for you, and they go do for everybody else. And I'm going to just keep it real with you. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about that map. I really don't. Like I said, when I can walk outside of a Walmart and see most Black people sitting out there, presumably homeless, I don't give a damn about no map. You know why I don't give a damn about a map? Because the Democrats don't give a damn about the people in the map. Dr. Irons, how you doing?
And real quick, I just want to let you guys know where I stand. No tangibles, no vote, let the chaos reign. Ain't nobody bothering me. Let chaos reign. If they want to get back to some normalcy in this country, give the Black people what we've been telling you we want and we need. End of story.
Yeah. And we're not going to negotiate and just wait like Al Sharpton told that big old lie at his National Action Network convention. Oh, well, why don't y'all vote for somebody to give you reparations? It's like, along with losing weight, you lost your mind too, didn't you? Okay. You need to lay off the relaxer, homie, because it's seeping in. What is you talking about? As I did on the African Diaspora News Channel, you mean to tell me Obama wasn't in hope of reparations? Kamala, she got in there, even though she said no, right? And all of these other people. California is a great example. California Legislative Black Caucus went and did not put those bills before Gavin Newsom to pass them or veto them. They sabotaged California Black Legislative Caucus sabotage your reparations for Black Californian descendants of slaves. And y'all talking about we ain't voting enough? Miss me with all of that, please. Okay, how you doing? Says our taxes have paid for healthcare, housing, and 10 times, et cetera, 10 times over. And for a lot of other people. Don't forget that. Cynthia, how you doing? Says Demetria, I'm hearing and noticing that our elders and older generation who are now going to the student school and their career college job fair, and they're literally trying to instill fear into our younger generation's head. Mine's on the same issue, and that's what we come in, right? We come in and say, nah, stop listening to them, because if you want to prove anything they're saying is right or wrong, look outside your door and see what your community looks like. And do you have Black representation? We're going to call it misrepresentation. And if you do, then ask yourself, why should you listen to a person who is practicing in benign neglect of you while they go help everybody else? You shouldn't. But like Yanni, you said, they in panic mode now because they see now they actually got to do the damn work. Okay, no longer you resting on pretty because I'm Black. I'm voting on everybody Black. We getting them in because they Black. You Black and useless. Like a number 2 pencil with the end broken off. Just useless. Bubblegum Cat, how you doing? Says the map is about power and the redistribution of wealth for everyone in that designated area. Illegal immigrants are counted in the census and can be drafted, and so should be compensated fairly. Whatever, right? But again, how does conversation shift from Black Americans to illegal immigrants? See, they know you ain't paying attention. They know that you go, oh my God. But listen to listen, okay? I'm trying to get excited because I forgot to turn my air on and I'm hot. These people are saying it out of their mouths. Minority, Black and brown, Black and minority. Again, so some of y'all who was so smart, you too cool for school. 1965, the Voting Rights Act was for Black Americans. It wasn't for everybody else. And now these suckers are talking about Black and minority. And we've been told to stop falling for those talking points a long time ago, because look where it has gotten us. Affirmative action was supposed to be for us. This fake ass DEI, which was never for us, has benefited white women and everybody else the most. And some of y'all who are too cool for school run around as ignorant as you want to be, and you won't even listen to the words that are coming out of their mouth. So I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this to be mean. How stupid are you? I'm just asking. How stupid are you? Because you are, now y'all are willfully ignorant, and that's worse. Okay, some people are ignorant because they just don't know. And being ignorant is not always a bad thing, because some people just don't know. But if you are willfully ignorant, you are hearing the knowledge, but you are rejecting it. My people were destroyed for their lack of knowledge and their rejection of truth. You are rejecting the truth because you want to continue listening to the talking points of people who got an agenda and probably make a lot of money for keeping your sleep. Wake up. And I know that saying has become so cliched, we don't even know what that means anymore. We say wake up, no, but for real. But some of y'all want to be asleep. Y'all tucked in real tight under the covers, and you are in a slumber that you do not want to be awakened from. And it's scary. It is.
Hey, and do us a favor, you guys, before we get out of here, please hit that like button, share and like on your groups and on your pages, and let's get this information out there.
Foundry said, isn't it strange or convenient that the money, a critical mass of us get on code and stand 10 toes down politically, and they can't get over us anymore? They start attacking the Voting Rights Act. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't even doubt that the Democrats are happy that it happened this way, because now they can continue on with the scare tactics. Ooh, right?
Well, it's a scare tactic and the excuse to not do anything. Now, oh, we can't do anything because look, they took the Voting Rights Act. Y'all got to get more of it. Every time. The answer to for the Democrats is you got to elect more Democrats to get what you want.
New Glory, thank you for the donation. She said Roland Martin and Brian McDonald, I like to say, are non-Black Americans. I don't like that word, but they are they're born here, first generation, but their parents are, I guess, or I think Roland actually said that he's
like 3D. He's like,
so I don't know how you even want to take that. Let me skip down. But
Roland's problem isn't really his family. Roland is part of the Boule and the fraternities. That's his thing. And if you know anything about the fraternities, go to the African Diaspora News Channel app. Brother Phil did an excellent expose on the Boule.
Yeah. Rhonda, how you doing? Says the Democrats are only concerned about immigrants, not FBAs. They are also worried about losing congressional seats. Yeah, that's all they care about. They shaking in their knees like, oh my God, oh, we got to work. Nah. Well, I mean, y'all really see Maxine Waters out there knocking on doors. You see James Clyburn out there knocking on doors. They never had, well, I know that doesn't affect them where they're at, but I'm just saying a lot of them, they never really had to work for it. Once they got in the first 2-3 times, they're like, shoot, we in like Flynn. But the ones there in Louisiana, and they're afraid that this will spread in other places if these other states contest it, right? And so, you know, you gotta do the work. It's okay. You're supposed to.
Well, Jasmine got a wake-up call because she only was in there, 3 terms? She went 2-3 terms, I believe. She was in there about 6 years.
I don't even think that long. I think she was only in there
4 years.
Maybe.
Okay, but I know she didn't make it over 3 terms. Like her
something. Yeah. Christopher says the Texas 18th congressional is both the poorest, also the richest neighborhoods. Off the strength of Black loyalty, Blacks get turkeys and water bottles, right? I remember Sheila Jackson Lee was giving out water bottles. It says millionaires in Royal Oaks get government contracts and safe streets. There you go. And that's usually how it works in most congressional districts, right? Or city councils or whatever it is. It's usually a good side that get all the resources and the bad side, right? Where Mufasa was telling the Simba, you don't go over there, okay?
Now, I would agree with you in an aspect because that is how it works across the nation. And unless you're a person like myself, I live in an older part of the neighborhood. And I would tell you, I have the best roads in the city because I advocate to have the best roads.
Right. So I see y'all saying, I don't know if I hope the immigrants ain't getting free IDs in California.
Yes, Karen Bass authorized them to have free IDs and stuff like that. Yeah.
In LA? Because she's the mayor of LA.
Yeah, in the LA area basin. Mm-hmm. Gavin Newsom, all them people, yeah.
That's crazy as hell. I don't know how y'all put up with that. Y'all better be happy I'm not in California right now. Biz, you said shaking my head, $30 in Indiana. Is that what that is? Or Indiana, yeah. California has some of the highest, and car registration as well. It's like it keep going up. It's like the older your car get, the more you gotta pay.
Yeah, it used to be every year it goes up. Your car payments go down or your registration goes down. In California now it's reversed. The older your car is, the more you're going to pay. You know, a new car registration is almost as same as an old car.
Which is crazy. Quelly, I'm reading your comments. Jacoby, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says you need ID to get cough syrup. You damn sure do. And you know one thing we gonna do is get our Robitussin.
Well, think about this. Here in California, since it's so popular, you need ID to go to the weed shop to get your little weed bag.
And you know we're gonna have ID for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So You know, and I see your comments. I just want to skip down. I didn't realize how far I am behind. I avenge the ancestors. How you doing? Sorry it took me so long to get to you. Slap jaw, what's going on? One love to you as well. I'm hoping I'm not skipping over anybody. That is not my intent. Cynthia says the elders are now trying to confuse, scare, and twist up our younger generation against Trump, only for the Democrats shield silliness. Yeah, we got to keep waking them up, right? Bill says now we are saying no to others when they don't want FBAs to have reparation and cash, period. No more time, Gen X. Way better. Know what I'm talking about. We won't stop. You better believe it. MC Fact, it says Harris says she was all about the undocumented. Yeah, and she still is. You know, that she's actually in some of the polls that I've seen, she's leading the pack rather, amongst potential Democratic candidates for 2028. She's actually leading. So I don't know. Will she get in? Probably not, but it's interesting nevertheless.
Oh, no. You know, even if she does, her or Gavin Newsom, it doesn't matter. Okay, Harris is not going to make it out of the Democratic primary. Even if she does, which would be a windfall, the Republicans are going to win hands down if she's the nominee again. That would be her 4th time running for president. I don't think it's going to happen. So I don't think she's going to make it out of the primary. The problem with Kamala Harris is she has no substance. And she has too much history for people to throw in her face. So I just don't see it happening. And Gavin Newsom, the transgender thing, he ain't going to make it. And what he did to Black people here in California, he ain't going to make it either.
Yeah, I think he's tried to back off of the transgender thing a tiny bit, you know. Dr. Iron just says a lot of Black people have Stockholm syndrome. Yep, and that's why we here to wake them up. Sherry says, and that's what's crazy. I don't hear any Black bootlegs like D.L. Hewley and that clown, we say Roland Marks and Martin rather, and the rest of them saying anything about the Democrats talking about giving illegal money. Where are they? They don't care as long as they get a check too. Nah, they're very silent. I'll be honest with you. A lot of us in this space are silent, but not Demetra. No, I'm gonna keep talking about that because I don't think enough people ain't mad about that for me. I've seen people talk about this voting right. Enough people ain't mad. Well, you ain't mad about her talking about giving illegal immigrants reparations. Are you crazy? You must be. Or you willfully ignorant, or you don't care. And that's scary. Pam and Jammin, where have you been, by the way? He says, I don't understand the fixation on the Democrat Party as well. Democrats are full of talk and no action. Well, now they got to get some action, especially in Louisiana. And again, they're afraid this might become the norm. So yeah, now they got to hop too. Yes, they do. Let's see who else. Haven't I seen? Vanessa, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Love and appreciate you for that. Thank you. I think I'm starting to catch up here. Black Panther says, why are we not represented fully in the U.S. Congress? Because of big money lining the pockets of Black congressional members like Clyburn to push benign neglect. F that map. You see what I'm saying? And they hate when we say stuff like that. F that map. What about the people in the map? You don't care about the people in the map. You just care about your jobs. Just keep it buck. Okay, you want to be able to stand up there. We will not go back. We're not going back. First of all, Yvette D. Clark, your people wasn't even from over here anyway. You first generation Jamaican American. So what is you talking about? What are you talking about?
You know, to me, the litmus test is this. When a Democrat talks to me, I just ask them in 60 years, what legislation has the Democratic Party done specifically for Black people? And don't tell me you gave us a hair crown thing or what's that, the end of slavery day, Juneteenth day. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I said substantial that affects Black people's lives. If you go to most state colleges, public colleges here in California, do you know they have a specific office for dreamers? For dreamers, a specific office for them. Nothing for Black folks, because the Asians sued and said that's discriminatory, but yet the dreamer, have you noticed that guy that runs around breaking up the discrimination stuff? He's suing everybody for discrimination.
Edward Blum.
Yeah, he doesn't do it to the dreamers. They have a specific office for them. And I heard the reason he doesn't do it to the dreamers is they're in limbo. They're in a legal limbo. So they're not necessarily citizens, but yet they're getting all these benefits from the state of California.
No, it's just easier for everybody to organize on black folks who have done nothing to nobody and who are the most disenfranchised here in the country. It's just easier for them to do that. But see, they know they know who they trying to go up against, right? They're trying to further keep us down, but it ain't gonna work because their time is up. If you know, you know. Their time is up, and they know it, which is why they with all the foolishness, because their time is up. Yes, indeed. Baby Oil says Megan Thee Stallion and her crew twerking on the stage was one of the most pathetic things ever. Let's see Democrats try to appeal to other groups that way. Never. Nah, you got to get some booty cheeks flapping around. That's what you get. You know, and I just wow. When I saw that, I was like, nah, no, damn well, this is satire. Is this Saturday Night Live or something? Like, what is this going on here? You know? Cynthia, thank you so much. It says, and Eminem said, I'm not afraid the Democrats says must now earn our black votes. Yeah. What's the problem with that? Right? I don't see the problem, but apparently they do. Because again, they think that this is going to spread. And Thunder, now you know doggone well they concerned with the Voting Rights Act for the people of color, which, you know, we're not included in that, okay? But they keep saying blacks and minorities, blacks and brown.
Now ask yourself this, though. See, this is why I don't understand why they're including minorities. When an Asian comes over here from China, when a Hispanic or Latino comes over here legally or illegally, they don't have to worry about voting. They can just vote. But us, we have to have our rights to vote renewed every 25 years. See, so I don't even know why they include us in that. Nirvana says, curveball, if Crockett was immigrants first, she wouldn't have called out Melania Trump's fraudulently getting the Einstein immigrant visa card. She don't qualify for it since it's only for smart people. Interesting.
Easy says, I think California gas prices in T now is $4.31 gallon for premium. California prices or Texas. Yeah, Texas is averages that about $4, or I think nationwide is $4.30 something. Yeah, California, y'all looking at about $6 or so.
The watered down, make your engine not gas is looking at $6.57 yesterday. $6.57.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, Donovan, like you said, they were watering the gas down. It don't last like it used to. The gas, listen, I could, back in the day, right before this war started, I would only have to fill my car up like every 2 months because I just go to the gym at the store, right? I'm like the old lady from Pasadena now. But I put $30 in my car yesterday on the way to the gym and it barely got a half a tank. I said, I'll be damned. But that's okay. I'm going to drive slow. I'm going to go where I need to go. Mr. Ernest, how you doing? Says, in all honesty, Black people were better off during segregation because at least we knew what time it was and we stuck together better in those days than we do now in our integration. So bring it on. Yep, we did. We had a sense of community together. The sans, you know, the Jim Crow, which is still here in a sense, but you know, yeah, we were better off then. And we're not now. We're not. So I would just say, hey, everyone, Nirvana, you see how I responded to that, like, Zachariah, how you doing? Says, I disagree. The Black and brown unity should not exist. The Bible says so. Well, I'm saying in that we have the same oppressor, right? They have done a number on the darker people of the earth, and it was all by design. So yeah, it should be. Now I know what you're talking about, mixing of the races type thing. I think that's a different conversation. But as far as unifying for the same goal against the same oppressor, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. But they know it's supposed to be that way, which is why they have the cause division. So that we won't do that because there's more darker people on the earth than it is them. Right? Which is why South Africa operates the way it does. Them white folks own most of the damn wealth, pulling all the strings. So I'm sitting up there sentencing Julius Malema, the president of EFF, to 5-year prison bid. A white woman in Black South. But that in a nutshell is what's going on. They're the minority, but they're calling all the shots. And God forbid we all get together, boy. Be a game changer. So yeah, let's see. And thank you, Mike, for reminding people there are ways to donate to the channel. D says, if anyone is still streaming, Black and brown coalition, they have to be trolling at this point. Well, it doesn't exist. The way they're trying to say it exists is really just black people. Hey, get up off the couch. Stop reclaiming your time. Stop arresting and get out here. And it's these protesters. Y'all notice there ain't a lot of black people out there. Back in the day, it would have been, right? But now we like, shit, they ain't finna be pew-pewing me up with rubber bullets and real ones and all. Nuh-uh. This ain't got nothing to do with me anyway, you know? See, we've learned to mind our business. Alex, how you doing? Says peace and blessings, Demetri and Donovan. Did you see the video from Killer Mike basically saying that Black Americans need to be strategic instead of emotional and get dragged for it? Shaking my head. Yeah, Killer Mike, he can kind of come and go, but I agree with that sentiment. Yeah, they cannot operate unless we're emotional. I'm telling you, I've seen a whole bunch of black people crashing out on my timeline. I'm like, what's wrong with these people? Are you typing this from under your bed too? Oh, I'm afraid. What are you don't even live in Louisiana. What are you talking about? They got you scared from something that's going on in Louisiana from California? You just scared by proxy? Like, what are we doing? I got family down there. Just silly, you know?
And then the family don't vote. She's scared, but the family don't vote anyway.
Won't show up to no city hall meeting in their own town, but you scared about something going on in Louisiana that been going on in the first damn place because, like they said, it's a red state.
Right. And do you guys realize that half of the American citizenship do not vote? They do not participate in voting. Half of the United States. And in most cities, maybe less than a third, maybe a fourth. No, I would say it's probably like an eighth of anybody actually votes. So a small group of people in your city makes decisions for the whole city.
Yeah. But you freaked out because they told you to be freaked out. I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'd say Scotty beam me up, but I'm not sure if I want to go up there because the white people be up there meddling around in space and on the other side of the moon and all this other crap. It's like, what are y'all doing up there? Why y'all trying to go to Mars? Well, what are y'all? Them aliens don't want y'all up there. They've already made that clear. Don't bring your ass up here, okay?
And you guys do realize that we've never been to the moon and we cannot go into space as they're saying that we're going because of the radiation that is out there. We don't have the right metals and stuff that would protect us. And if we did, we have the right metals, but they're too heavy to go into space. So, and then some of the pictures, did you see that? Some of the pictures that they so-called sent back were doctored and they got caught.
Yeah, I saw that. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. Were they up there? Who knows? I just saw it and I'm like, interesting. They said a black man manned the ship, which is pretty cool if it's true, I guess. Tahada said that's cool.
Demetri, do you know I'm the first black person to step outside and turn to the left of my door and hit the metal pedal on my doorstep? I'm the first black guy to do that. Celebrate me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's quite a feat. We should celebrate that. Get you the big piece of chicken. And write your name down somewhere, a parade for all of that.
Right. And again, since we're talking about firsts, what is going on with our black female servant class? The first black woman sheriff in Louisiana, the whole state of Louisiana was indicted on 30 counts. Fannie Willis. I mean, what is going on with our female servants out there? I just don't get it.
I think there's a black woman. I don't know if it's New York or California. I just briefly saw it. Lasha's, the homeless organization. She's at the helm of it. She in trouble for stealing money. And another, like you're right. I'm starting to see a lot of black women in leadership getting in trouble for stealing. Like, what are y'all doing? If it's going to be anybody, it's definitely going to be you to get caught. And you're going to go up the river and they're going to have you busting rocks on the plantation. What are you doing? Right? COVID money. It's like, what are y'all doing? It's crazy. And I don't know. Like, are they being told to do? Like, I cannot put my finger on. It's like almost every week you're hearing about, and then Tiffany, what's her face? Henier, she didn't Watusi herself to Atlanta trying to run for the governor, the mayor, or something.
Some kind of commission on thing like that. She's starting small to work her way up there. But if they elect her, they deserve everything they get.
After she just rooked Dalton for all that damn money in her weave budget, you know. Rosande, what's going on, Monet? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Skipping down, who else haven't I seen? Jerry, I saw you said, but Kamala Ben, a keyed up puppet. Damn, I'm not far behind. Uncle Charles, how you doing? So salute. Wish I could come up on the show from an OG perspective on Birmingham, Alabama. One day I'll open up the link. People just was doing too much tripping. Hey, Tammy, did I say hi to you? If not, Texas Barabbas, what's going on with you? Said the Democrat plan was to replace FBA with Latinos. Latinos now outnumber FBA. Democrats ain't gonna need FBA vote. They're not gonna listen to you all. They don't need your vote no more. You know what? I saw in Los Angeles, it's in California for sure. Politician, he wants it to be so where undocumented people could vote. He wants to pass that law. Like, tell us how you're not even hiding it anymore, huh? So yeah.
The funny thing is, in I think Atlanta and a lot of states, they are finding illegal immigrants voting in elections. That's what they're finding. I'm not talking about like hundreds, I'm talking about like 30 here, 60 there, 12 here. They're finding that these people are voting in elections.
Yeah, that's crazy if that's true, you know. Stacy, how you doing? Well, thank you. Lawrence, what's going on? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Al Sharpter's relaxer is burning his brains out. He got caught lying too on the radio. I was listening to it on the way to the gym. The dude was like, he was saying, Obama could have chosen a Supreme Court justice, but he didn't. And then Al Sharpter's like, well, that's not true. And the dude's like, yes, it is true. He says, you're lying. He called Al Sharpter the liar and he got mad. Oh, that's why I have to cut you off. You can disagree, but you called me a name. I'm like, well, you was lying, dude. You was lying, okay? He could have, but he didn't. Like, you know, he didn't want his regular faithful listeners to say, is that true? You mean Obama? He didn't want people to think that. Abigail says they use manipulative linguistics, and they know most of us react to words instead of listening to understand the words they are using. Yep. It's style and symbolism, right? You know, again, you ask somebody what they heard in church. I don't know, but he was so preaching, child. You should have been there. And what he's saying, I don't know what he was saying, but you know what he was saying? Glory. And Jesus wept. And they ran around twisting their wigs all up in the air and stuff. And then they telling you should have been there, but they can't tell you what was said. And that's literally what was said, right? But it sounded good. So, yeah. Jerry says, Louisiana vote down ballot for Ed and his bro is Malcolm X. You see where I'm coming from, you dig? Not really, but maybe I should try. Aboriginal Copper says people need to start acting like the map benefited FBA. Stop living in a fantasy world. Yeah, it's just they know that a lot of us are asleep. That's okay. We're gonna wake them up, right? Like that. Wake up. We gotta wake them up. Rashida says, I've been waiting. I've been watching you in the background live. The content at Donovan. Yes. So Donovan, yeah, he goes live quite a bit. You can also follow Donovan if you haven't already. I always put his information in the description box so you can go and follow him on all platforms, please and thank you. Shahid, what's going on? Says clown like Ricky Smiley, DL Hewley, and Roly Poly Martin. Yeah, and they be mad too, boy. They be mad when they hear people like us talking. Stop listening to them. Oh, they talk about they want reparations. It's like, oh yeah, that was Ricky Smiley's crew. And they talking about they want reparations. It's like, that's why y'all morning show is dry. Just dry. I'm funny, you know?
Well, the funny thing is a lot of their fan base is people who do not pay attention to politics. They pay attention to entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely, Yanni. Meritorious Money Mission is in full effect. You see it everywhere. The minute they see somebody trying to run off the plantation, they massa, there they go, catch them, right? And a whole host of other things as to what that means. But yes, absolutely. Let's see. I'm skipping down. I apologize. I'm so sorry that I'm so behind. Candy, how you doing? Says I no longer accept the things that cannot change. I change the things I cannot accept, and that's what the alcoholics serenity prayer, whatever it is.
But joy in the morning. That was Kamala Harris. Remember, she was at that church. But joy comes in the morning.
I wonder how many times it took for her to get that right. You know, after you better thank the union member. All right, Foxy Brown. Imani, I hope I say your name right, but how you doing? It says Democrats have to do something for Black vote. Yes, they have to. And that's what they're afraid of. They've just been used to just resting on pretty. Vote for me because I'm Black. Now it's like, oh no, it doesn't matter as much, huh? Corey, how you doing?
Their backup plan was to replace us with these immigrants. But what they keep forgetting is these immigrants, like the Cubans and any other thing in Latino, these are very conservative people. They vote 60-40. You're not going to get a 90% vote apparatus from these people. They're conservative. They're going to be more Republican than they're going to be Democrat.
Absolutely. Brother John, now what is going on with you? Got How to Eat to Live in your hand. Listen, if y'all ain't got it, you better get it. Both volumes, How to Eat to Live. It will help you sustain life. It says that if you follow it, you could live to be 240 years old. I don't know if I want to live that long. I'd be like, hi, what? Yes. And I'm saying yes to any and everything. I don't even know what they talk about. Can you find my teeth? They talk about Candace's book. Did you read it yet? Are you reading it? Not yet. You're in the process of reading it. Let us know how it is. Y'all laughing at something I said. I know it was probably real stupid. Hey, Miser, what's going on with you? Let me see. Aaron, how you doing? Sorry it took me so long to get to you. I'm just really behind. Samuel, how you doing? Said Dimitri Donovan. Brother Phil made a powerful statement. If the Republicans are going to redraw the maps in red states, then the Democrats need to do the same in blue states. And that's what they're doing, right? Virginia, they did it. California, they've done it. So yeah, they are doing it. I think, it's just going to really wash it out, even it, right? In some cases, it will. In a sense, it's speculated that it will hurt the Republicans because, as Trump and them said, hey, if we're not back in power, we don't keep power, we're going to jail. Okay? So they need to cheat in the sense so they don't have to go to jail. And I just want to know, what are you doing to go to jail? I don't worry about going to jail because I'm not doing nothing to go to jail. I think people who are breaking the law, they worry about going to jail. They're not Black.
Trump leaves office, he is going to go off into the sunset and they're going to leave him alone, just like they've done Bush. Bush is wanted by the World Court as a war criminal. And notice he keeps a very, very low profile. You don't hear much from HW at all.
Nah, he did an interview not too long ago with his daughter. And he was gushing over Michelle Obama still. Wait. Why the 92% ain't mad at Michelle Obama for passing peppermints to W, who left Black folks swimming in water for 5? Why they ain't mad with her? They get booed up at every funeral they could get. He's talking about how they're friends and this, that. Why y'all not mad at Michelle?
But they're mad at Condoleezza Rice for being part of the administration.
Yeah, but love Michelle, she gave him a peppermint. But they was mad at Obama for talking to Trump. Now, honestly, Bush is worse than Trump in regards to Black folks, right? Y'all mad at the stuff Trump is allegedly doing to Black folks, but Bush left Black folks in Louisiana swimming in water that had everything but a kitchen sink up in there, and y'all more mad at Trump. The Bush flew over, looked down on the Negroes and says, oh, I don't see nothing here. Let's keep going. And then that was after a couple of days. He had to get, Kanye infamously said it. Bush don't care about black people.
Mm-hmm. And the sad thing is, after all that had happened, he bailed out the insurance companies, and the insurance companies screwed over the people whose homes were affected with all the mold and stuff.
And what else did he do a couple years before that and screwed over people? Just a few years before that was the ultimate screw, or one of the ultimate screws. Just think a couple years before that, what happened?
Other than 9/11, like
what? 9/11, what did he say? When he stood up at that podium and he made the first statement, the first words he said was, an act of terrorism has been committed against the American people. Most of y'all that have an insurance policy to some degree, you know that an act of war, or some sort of the mother act of nature thing gives the insurance companies the right to say, that's how, well, there's it. If you read the fine line of the writing, it says that an act of war means we don't have to honor it. But why is that the first thing that he said?
But here's the funny thing about that. His brother, who was the manager of the towers that fell down, they paid that insurance policy.
I bet they did.
They ended up paying that insurance policy, even though that was so-called an act of terrorism.
Right. D. Wood says she allowed the infamous Great Pookie escape to happen. Who was that? I know somebody we said, I'm so behind, so forgive me. Easy says Nola loaded with corruption and regime change politics. They I don't know. Yeah, because they had a mayor not too long ago, a woman mayor of New Orleans. What did she got in some funky stuff? And then Ray Nagin, he was, part of the Katrina thing, and he go to jail for some fraud. Like, what in the hell?
Yep. Matter of fact, that female mayor, originally from Long Beach, California, and had an alleged affair with her security thing. They're under indictment right now as we speak too. So as she left office, they indicted her. And this sheriff, she had 5 days to go on the job, and they indicted her.
I just want to know what's in the gumbo. What they putting in the gumbo that y'all doing this stuff. Jupiter, how you doing? Says Demetri. Hey, I just saw the Defiant Lawyer having live video trying to give a spin history of voting rights, pushing that civil rights BS for us to get the vote. Yeah, again, I pray every day that I be nice and say things that are uplifting and edifying, and I cannot say all the things that are in my mind anymore. I'm trying very hard not to. But yeah, he's a shield for sure. That's the nicest thing I can say. Cynthia says, I noticed that as well. Black women who have good paying jobs are working with certain organizations. They're stealing a lot off the top. And it's like, why? You going upstate. You can't take no wigs and weaves up in there with you. I mean, he might be able to. I watched I think it was a New Orleans jail as well. They got a lot going on, but they was recycling weave. So they'll trade the weave from inmate to inmate. Like when that inmate is done with that, they wash it up real good and then they braid your hair up with it. I'm like, just shave my stuff off until I get out.
Mental illness is a real thing, y'all.
Yeah, Albie Chill, I'm just gonna sting out my arm. I tried to find that video, I couldn't find it. I'm not gonna ask what's in the infusion. I'm just gonna take the infusion. And where is that lady? Oh, and then when I was looking for the video, I was looking more into, the infusion. Y'all know what that is. We couldn't even say the damn word on line without getting your stuff taken. They had a black lady. She was the first American to take that. Well, she was Jamaican American. But they had her do it to coax the rest of us to, right? Like you guinea pig, but see, if you know the history of what's going on here in America, you wouldn't be signing up to, get black people to do something where a lot of black people was like, I'm not doing that. You do it, It's
just funny how the Democrats talk about freedom and, equality and all this and kings and all this other stuff, but they were telling people either you take this jab or you lose your job.
Yeah, and a lot of people have to do it. I wonder what kind of money they can get from the government. Rich, how you doing? Says, and hey, Marcus, thank you. We love you too. Richard say, melanated Black Americans will not receive reparations because of how melanated Black Americans treated melanated Black Americans, homeless men. Y'all disagree, but that's one aspect of why. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't mistreat nobody, okay? So that ain't got nothing to do with my money. I'm just saying. Um, Ma says Methuselah, his longest living person, is recorded with a lifespan of 969 years. And
It looks like Maxine Waters is going to break that record.
Well, I was gonna say Maxine Waters is his grandma. Easy says Bush wants to get on that. I don't think Obama gonna put up with that. Yanni says Obama doesn't mind going to jail. You know what? Y'all better quit trying to call that man fashionably involved. I mean, he might be. I don't know. Bill says, shaking my head. I remember donating closing money to my fellow Pelican State family. Still sad how that all happened. But yeah, Michelle get a pass. Michelle get a pass to be booed up a Bush who left black people swimming in soup for 5 days and called them refugees.
And I am from Louisiana. My mother's right there in Slidell where that actually happened. My mom's house got flooded out, and a lot of my military stuff that was sitting in her garage got lost and messed up, and I'll never get it back. So I have a personal experience with that.
Say black vets for Trump. Well, I'll say is thank you for your service. Yeah, Trump did do something for the vets. He sure did. Donovan to tell you that.
Wasn't for Donald Trump, you ain't got to sit there and wait for the VA for an appointment and possibly pass away waiting for it. Donald Trump authorized you to go outside of the VA and do what you got to do, and gave the VA and the military the biggest raise ever when he came in, and also started the Space Force, even though I don't think we needed to do that, but he did a lot in the military.
And I'm still waiting for my raise.
You're not gonna get it.
All I've done for y'all, entertain the troops.
Entertain the troops, gave a baby to one of our Marines.
And look what it got me. Look what it got me. Aaron says they're making it look like we have been stripped of voting, but they just saying race can't be a factor in drawing the line. Sounds fair to me. Yeah. But see, most scary people won't understand it that way. They run around like a chicken with their head cut off. Yes, black Navy American vet, the jab. And even they was flagging that. The jab, right? They call that, in a sense, news speak, right? Especially if you've read 1984, news speak is words that are changed that you used to say, but you can't say anymore. So, for example, we have to say unalive. Well, y'all know what unalive is. Some of y'all kind of get mad about that. Why can't you just say what it is? Because the algorithm don't like the other word. So we have to say unalive, right? And somebody was violated in the way they shouldn't have been. You got to say great, right? That's newspeak. They change words, and tell you can't say things that we've been saying. So it's all by design. Yeah, but we have to call it the jab. And even then, like I said, they was flagging that. Hey, Pamela, how you doing? I hope that you're doing well. Fast and Fellow says innocent until proven guilty. Talking about those ladies who's accused of stealing. Yeah, I agree with that. Easy says, a lot of people either don't or forget DC Sniper was a Jamaican. Yeah, that's when they was using flat black, right? Everybody's black. Sister Sherry says, everybody know I took the jab. They are now having problems. Yeah, some people are, and that's unfortunate. Mahali, how you doing? Says, I never took the jab. Yeah, a lot of people didn't take the jab. A lot of people had to take the jab, like Donovan said, to work or even to travel. Because a lot of times when you travel, they gave you that quarantine. And if they found out you was running around the country or wherever you were without quarantining for 10 days, which most people, you go on vacation or visit, I ain't got 10 days to be sitting in one spot. I'm here to move about, right? So it was a lot going on. Now, speaking of which, there's a documentary on Hulu of Nature Boy. Y'all remember Nature Boy in the 2014 or 15s and things like that. He came about with the conscious class of your Polites and all them came about. Well, y'all know he's doing a life sentence, but they got a documentary on Hulu, which is crazy. Absolutely insane. For those of you who are following it back then, they have a documentary. It's crazy. Let's see. I didn't realize what time it was, but now I do. Jesse, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing well this fine day. You say no jab here. Biz says 100% natural. No jab here. Yeah, then, you know, you're watching the news all day. Oh, these people, they're being unalive. See, it's a word I can't say. They're being unalive. They got trucks for morgues, and they got bodies and bodies and bodies. And if you don't take the jab, and you're gonna die. All this other stuff. Did it help? I don't know if the vaccine helped. I don't know. Some say that it did. But then some people are questioning, what did I take? What was in the jab? What was in the infusion that you told me not to ask about? Just stick your arm out and take the infusion. And first of all, you don't stick your arm out like that. You go like that, right? Shows what she know.
And the funny thing is, again, it's just funny how the Democrats talk about Project 2025 and how the Republicans are do this and they're going to do that and all this other stuff. But yet they told you this is your nominee and did the one thing in a capitalist and so-called free society that you should not do, and letting the people decide who is going to be their representative or run for president. They put this woman who never got one primary vote and said, this is your nominee, right in your face, and people fell for it.
Yeah. So y'all say y'all didn't get the jab. Y'all knew not to do that. Brother Don says, I knew better than to get the jab. The Most High told me don't take it. Yeah, a lot of us were told not to take it. Hey, James, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Easy, you say, then they said people who didn't take it was the host, right? A whole lot of stuff was going on. People just scared. Vanessa says, my son took me to Hawaii surprise, and I had to take the jab out of guilt, and now I'm paying for it. Yeah, that's and that's why I thought of Nature Boy, because they went to Hawaii during the pandemic and they were supposed to quarantine. They didn't. They was all over filming it, going live, and they actually got arrested for not quarantining. So yeah, that happened. You wanted to travel, you needed to take and you need to show proof that you took the jab. So yeah, it was a lot going on there. A lot of people didn't want to take it.
Yeah, and Project 2025, whatever happened to that? Notice, like, when Trump is running for office and project, if you don't vote in Project 2025, you're going to be enslaved and chains if Trump gets in office and all this other stuff. Has anybody seen any slave patrols? Has anybody been arrested and put in detention centers and all this madness that was supposed to happen from Project 2025? Has anybody experienced anything?
Well, some people say, oh, it's almost done. I think they tried to do Project 2025, but I think, the Supreme Court and a lot of, other things happened to where they couldn't get a lot of it off, like the tariffs. They got to actually pay that back. But you as the American people, you won't get it back because you actually paid it, right? You won't get it back. The states, they're suing to get their money back. So there's some things that just didn't work or whatever it is. But it just really, in closing, regarding this voting rights situation in Louisiana, again, I think we should be informed, as many people are saying. Some people saying we're misinformed. We're not misinformed. I understand that a lot of people who live in Louisiana said I could still vote, right? You can still vote. What it means in reverse is that representation, the misrepresentation, they actually got to do something to earn the vote. No longer can they rest on pretty and just assume that you're going to show up and vote for them, or like Donovan said, win because they're unopposed and all this other stuff. Now it's got to be competitive, but you've been sitting in those seats as a Congressional Black Caucus, especially for all this time, and you haven't been answering to your most loyal group of voters, and now you got to answer, and you got to actually compete for that, and now you're mad, but if you would have showed up for the people who show up for you, then maybe people would care a little bit more. But it's like, how are we going to lose something we already don't have? Like I said, you look outside and nothing's changed for you. This representation, they're not doing anything for you. They're romping and stomping for illegal immigration. And as somebody else said, on the better side of town, they doing for them over there. But for you, absolutely nothing. But yet you're supposed to show up. And if you don't, you this, you that, and the defiant lawyer and all these other cats, want to try to shame you into doing more of what you've already been doing. Again, the Democrats benefit the most from Black voters. What more do Black voters need to do than they're already doing? Again, all the other groups of people don't get the guilt trip like Black Americans do, and they don't show up. Hell, the people that the Democrats help the most, let's say the Latino community, they show up, 50 something, 49. What they don't show up as much as black voters do, but black voters we're treated like we're stupid in a sense. And I'm not saying this to be mean. We have been by not demanding anything from them at all, being guilted into, well, if you don't do it, you're gonna be on the plantation and all this other foolishness. But yet they call themselves, especially the Congressional Black Caucus, sit up there and try to freak you out even more, talking about if you don't, and this is what they trying to know. I can still vote. Talk to me when they say I can't vote because I'm black, right? Have that conversation with me then. But until then, y'all make it do what it do, and may the best person win. Really, all I have to say. So anyway, we do love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We'll be back here tomorrow, Donovan. We got a few people we need to interview, but we'll schedule those things. Some candidates from Los Angeles want to come on. They're challenging some of the people there for the assembly, and just some other things we got coming up the pipe. And I keep saying that I need to actually make a trip out there to California and spend a couple of weeks and hang out with the brothers and sisters of Africatown Coalition and just get out there and see what's going on. Just a lot of things I need to do. So I'm just planning on doing that as we speak. So I know you'll be on the plantation yourself when I come out there. So,
well, you know, depending on what it is what it's going to be. But also we have like graduations out there for a lot of people who have children and grandchildren. Congratulations for the graduations that are coming up. Some of y'all that had kids that went to the prom. I saw what your daughters were wearing. I saw it. But anyway, congratulations to all of those who have children and grandchildren that are graduating, and maybe great-grandchildren that are graduating high school this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have interviewed Brother Billion, but I told him we need to get him back on here. He is challenging Isaac Bryan. If y'all live in Los Angeles, Crenshaw District, District 55, and all that area, please show up for Brother Billion. He is totally grassroots campaign, and I keep saying I need to put his is it Billionaires 55? I think it's billionaires55.com, billionaires55.com. Y'all want to go check out his campaign and donate to that. He is really, I'm telling you, grassroots, where they're hand drawing signs, okay? They don't have the big, giant, glossy posters, posting them up all over. They're really grassroots, but Brother Billion has been doing the work. That's how I got to know them from back in the Gap, when they were holding the liquor stores and stuff accountable for putting their hands on Black folks. So they've been doing the work for a very, very long time. And that brother deserves a seat, because Isaac Bryan does not care, in my opinion, about Black Americans at all. He talks a good game. He sounds really good. You know, he's at the marathon, you know, shopping center, Marathon Burger and all this other stuff, but he ain't about that life. He's not.
He's endorsing Tom Steyer, so he looks good in the commercials and stuff.
Yeah, he run around screaming about what they're doing to illegal immigrants. That's who he cares about. So we need to get Brother Billion in that seat. But yes, I am going to interview him again. Again, I hope to get out there now that they took my airline. They done took Spirit.
Spirit Airline gone. Everybody just go to Frontier. It's no big deal.
They took Spirit. What am I going to do with my frequent flyer miles? Well,
I lost a bunch of those. Usually that doesn't carry over. You just lost them.
Yeah, Spirit is gone. And Spirit is now a Spirit. Anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow. Why, Albie Chill, is Isaac Bryan? I know he was married, but I heard they said they don't see his wife no more. What happened to her? She missing? APB out on Isaac Bryan's wife? Did she say he never mind, shut up if I get in trouble. Bye, y'all. Peace.